Hello, good evening, everyone.
Hello there.
How are we doing?
Hope
Ah,
everyone is doing well.
Tuesday again, no problem.
Yeah.
I'm back with Owl, and Das is back doing minis. Hello,
I'm
Cole.
back in the fucking building
Building
again!
again! Oh my god.
I love that man. He's legitimately so entertaining.
I know that when Curls comes to visit, I need to actually put that video on one of the times while we're having dinner because
Oh my
she's
days.
seen like clips and has obviously heard us make jokes, but has never actually watched the video of the Sonic Adventure 2 dub. And I'm like, oh my god,
Yes, it is your civic duty
we
because
have to.
she needs to have Mara go unhinged and say that she's going to piss on the moon because we took Zentralis away from her.
As if Curls would ever break the seriousness of a game like that. But it's funny for the memes.
Yeah, oh yeah, exactly. It's exclusively the meme. Yes, Core, she is still in Thesis Hell.
Oh yes,
till the end of the week.
yeah. This is her final week, so in theory, if we see her at all, she needs to be taken out with a sniper rifle because she needs to be working.
I did see her post. She's now officially written something which would stun her younger self, which I think is either very, 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 very good or just good.
We'll take it positively. We had good vibes
Yeah.
last week, where after she'd been working on this for literally about 8 months, she went, I think I finally understand what I'm getting at, and I was like, hooray!
Yay!
If you get the vibes, it's all good.
That's why it was a lot of fun to have a vague, like a layman's or like slightly above layman understanding of um uh, um oof, wow, my brain entirely
Try
fled
again.
away from me there. The poet that she worked on, she gave me a book of him. Literally is in the next room, and I can visualize the cover, but his name's escaped me. Not Oscar. It's not Oscar. Oh, wait.
Go check.
It's Oscar Wilde. Son of a bitch.
Of course it's Oscar Wilde. I should have just confirmed it with you. It's like, it's Curls. Of course it's Oscar Wilde.
Yeah. When she was doing her work on Oscar Wilde, it was quite enjoyable to be able to just chat with her and let her just throw ideas at the wall and talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
Very enjoyable. Okay. Now we move on to my tiniest brush.
In theory, maybe next week we will have Curls back, but don't worry because obviously we're going to have Das around for D&D streams. You don't get rid of them that easily.
I deadass crossed my arms, stared at my 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 paint stand, and went, "Where the fuck is Vulcan Green gone?" Because I put all the same ones back, and I have some of them that are out that are like either they're always going to be used or they're towards the end of their life cycle. So I knew it was up in the paint stand, and I was like, "Where the fuck are you?" Core, I would say it's one of my most redeeming traits is my inability to be disposed of.
Me too, but that has different implications. the Venn diagram of Blue and Dance. You can't, and in the middle it's just I can't fucking get rid of them.
Stubborn prick. Affectionate. That was just speaking of using the word affectionate in like a chat dialogue. Just like, oh, by the way, folks, often reoccur on the streams, especially on our Wednesdays. It is our friend Nerwin's birthday today, so if you happen to have the social medias, send him some love. He's a good boy. He is honestly one of our sweetest friends, and I am using this as a direct opportunity to call out a very good man, because he is. He is legitimately a gem of a human being.
And we talked about this yesterday about how I was getting emotional. Very much one of the people I was referring to when I was sat there at like midnight going, I miss my friends.
Meanwhile, me and Carl's just like sent threatening gifts.
I was having an emotional moment because I just watched an entire playthrough of Goodbye Volcano High and I had the feelings.
What is that?
This game, it is very good. If you ever get the chance to play it, go in blind and just enjoy it. It is a game, and it will give you feelings, and it's like good feelings and sad feelings, and just
Volcano High, you said.
Goodbye Volcano High.
Good. Oh, is that the one that Bardic was playing? Was
that was the playthrough I watched. I ended up Bardic ended up committing and was like, I'm just gonna play through the entirety of this game because apparently it's about 6 hours long on average, and I'm 3 hours in. So I was like, screw it, I stay up late, so let's stay with them. And literally at midnight, it's just this silent stream of Bard and like the 100 people watching them all just sort of crying, and I'm just like.
Just cry emoji spam.
Yeah, I used the cry emoji so much in their stream. It's a good game! And that is why I was there going, I love my friends.
There was a really... it's quite akin to that. I find it quite humorous. There was a top 10 character list I was looking at of like... So I'm not gonna pull this into Warhammer, I promise. It's only gonna be a brief dip. It was a video about dreadnoughts, and the third character he had referenced, or the second, or the fourth, excuse me. So they were number 4 on the list of 5. So they were second referenced. Was a guy called Huron Fell. Needless to say, he was from one of the evil legions before they were evil. So they, all the evil leaders were like, right, we know these guys are gonna stop and try to fight against us because they are loyal, so let's fucking kill them. Let's cull them. We have to. So they don't know this happening, and they take them to a place, and like, oh yeah, we're gonna prepare to fight these things. And they're all like, oh yeah, so we're down on the planet, ready to go. They drop virus bombs. What those do is basically on a molecular level, everything organic gets turned into a sludge.
Oh god.
So, as the bombs are preparing to be dropped, they're part of the Death Guard. Their leader is the guy who made these bombs, so they know exactly what they are, and they're like, get everyone in the goddamn bunker right now. Everyone that's nearby can get in a bunker. And they had already been shelled and bombarded as the bombs were coming down. And the Dreadnought had taken a lot of blows to protect other people. And he's insisting to the captain, who's one of his dear friends, get in the bunker, my chassis will protect me. and he's not inaccurate. When the Loyalist Legions got ambushed on another planet quite nearby shortly after this, the only surviving character was a dreadnought made by Vulcan. And he was just pinned under tons of debris. And that's the only reason that he didn't keep fighting, was he literally got pinned. But this guy was like, no, don't worry, my suit will protect me. And everyone goes, oh, that makes sense. It would. Except this captain who's going, you're being weird. Why are you being weird? So he stays out to try and protect him and realizes the bomb's landing way too close, and he seals the door with him outside. So it gets in his breathers, it gets in everything, and it gruesomely details how it begins killing him.
Oof.
But he has enough sense to realize that there's black ichor pouring from the dreadnought, and feels a crack. Not enough that would have impeded him on the battle, but more than enough for the virus to get in, because it's on a microscopic level. So he goes, you lied to me, in a raspy, dried voice, as the dreadnought painfully screams from its box, I told you to run, you damned fool, because this was his best friend. So he picks him up, cradles him with like a gun arm and like a mechanical punchy arm, takes him away from the shelter and says, we'll go together then, shall we? And just... he detonates his own reactor as they cry out, we choose this death, we deny you. And it's 40k, incredibly grim, but it's one of those ones where it's like, the guy who I was watching the video of was like, this book is great. You should read it. Who's on next?
Literally me like a few minutes ago. It's a good game. You should play it. It made me cry.
Yeah, that's exactly why I'm referring to it.
It's a good game.
I'm literally going through all these ones now and just making sure that I've gotten everyone. I basically like doing a full rotate with the light to make sure I've not missed anything, but also there's no like obvious staining, and where there is, I'm trying to correct it with just a little bit of paint. And then I'm doing this while a technical paint is drying in on the base, because essentially it should give a very nice indicated pointer, like a little bit of a cracked look is what I was told it would give.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think this is the one that gives that though, so I might need to look in the market again for others and go from there. But it's fine, no harm done. The next thing I'm going to do, because I still have some of it, is I've seen a tactic where you take a sponge. You rip a teeny tiny corner off the sponge. And on this teeny tiny corner of the sponge, you take a bit with a brush of a paint, out of a paint little tub, and you spread it down, and you very gingerly dab it, and then you very gingerly dab the sponge again down onto like tissue or other such stuff you're using to clean it off with.
Mm-hmm.
And then you dab it on, so it looks like around some of the armor points there's like chipping, because even in the setting, the armor is painted, but underneath it, it's got like a silvered or steel, like a ceramited look. So it looks like they've been battered, worn, bruised, so on. So it gives a cool look. But that's something that comes on after I do everything else. As I slowly rotate a little man and go, where are your flaws?
Rotate like rotisserie chicken.
Me with my blorbos. Here it is, you little mice. I knew I saw this. I posted up pictures of these and I saw all the errors and I was like, I see you and I don't like you.
That's it. Congratulations, you discovered what it means to be artist on the internet.
Yeah. Honestly, like, I posted that in the group, in one of the Discords. It's like, shit, I've seen all the mistakes now. And someone goes, honestly, you should post it more often, because I find that I spot my mistakes when I posted them. Legitimately.
Then you know to look for them.
Yeah, and it's like a psychology thing of, like, I know that I always do it. So when I post it, I can then look and go, I've seen it now. That's why they're whips. Never declare it finished until you 210% make certain. So I know I linked it to Spook, but have you looked at any of the new Team 4-star stuff?
Yeah, because Spook has shown me some of it.
Yeah. It's really clever what they're doing. They're doing them for folks in chat who don't know. Team 4-star used to do all the Dragon Ball Z abridged. They did Hellsing abridged, and the creators of DBZ actually loved them. As did the creators of excuse me, just focusing on literally just holding my breath while I very gingerly brush over something. As did the creators of Hellsing. They both loved them. Who didn't love them? Company executive.
The legal department.
Parasites. And of course they got, and on YouTube this was quite notorious. They got DMCA to
They
hell
got
to the point
DMCA
where
constantly, even though they would always be like, this is not a thing. This is always support the official release. This is a parody. They would still every time.
Yeah, we're doing this under like free use and the like of that, and so on. And again, like they made products with their own gimmicks on it, but that's the stuff they sold. They didn't sell DBZ official material and say it was theirs. Like they've got a Dodge T-shirt right now with a silhouette of Piccolo, and it's like of his head, and it's like that just looks like an alien with like green little pendly points, his silhouette in green. Yes, you could say he looks like it, but legally he is different. But what they've done now to avoid getting DMCA to high hell is, and also because TikTok and shorts specifically, are notorious for this right now in a lot of spaces. I've literally watched full segments of films on YouTube Shorts.
Yes.
Because they don't get DMCA.
Yeah, and on TikTok as well.
Yes,
so
it's so hard for them.
Of movies.
Yeah, like sometimes it's like I've literally seen people in comments of some of these going, "Oh shit! Last week it was all House. Now we're getting to see some Peaky Blinders. This is great." You just have to suffer some insufferable funk music put atop it, but these are little, minute and a half segments, and they're great, honestly. And they released a full, okay, here's all of them put together in a compilation, and that's what the buzzwords they're using. It's like, oh, these are compilations. So it's like, aha, it's even harder to strike it down because it's got compilations in it. And it's all these other, it's very clear they sat down and went, right, they're being, the people who are not fun are being absolute bastards. How can we respond in kind? And so they did. Good for them.
Yeah. Yeah, and then this book said, it's a shame that they aren't doing, the full arc, but when he sat down and watched them, he said, to be fair, at least they are hitting, a lot of key points.
Yeah.
And he says, in a way, I can't blame them, he said, because the Boo arc is apparently very all over the place.
It is a mess. Again, this is the arc where, in my opinion, and opinion of a lot of people, I wouldn't say this is exactly a hot take. This is where they decided, oh yeah, all this effort we made to make Gohan the new pro tag, throw it out the window. We want Gohan back or Goku back, and it's like, I hate this. Like, oh, how does Goku handle this new threat? He fuses with Vegeta. It's like, so he isn't handling this new threat. It's Vegeta and Goku are handling this threat fused together. That's crock of shit, guys. There is a fun thing I've seen recently, mostly from the likes of, oddly enough, some things from YouTube Shorts because I watched some stuff based on Dragon Ball, but like Dragon Ball fighting game videos and of you've probably seen Goku with white hair. That's the Ultra Instinct Goku.
Right, okay.
It's his new Mega form, basically.
Yes, the next step up, because every season needs another step up.
Kinda, yeah. It's that, basically. And, funnily enough, They comment that Master Roshi pseudo has a form of that already, but that's how he's always fought. It's just the fact that he's like a 300-year-old man that, you know, he's not really carrying it, but like, give that man a young body and holy shit, he'd probably be scary. Because he fights not like mega tournament power. Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked.
I'm just gonna comment one moment on what courses I feel like that's why Blue Flashy streams to work. Partly, but also for me, it helps me stay on target. I could do this work and not stream it, but I would be much more inclined to, you know, if I was talking with Das, to then open up YouTube and watch all of these videos that he's talking about, and then suddenly an hour passes and it's like, oops, not doing work. Whereas when I'm streaming, it's like, well, I can't watch all of these YouTube videos. I would get DMCA'd on Twitch, so I have to keep working. And also
your friends can throw balls at you.
Yeah,
say, hey,
and chat hold me accountable.
Yeah.
It's like, sometimes I'll tangent a little bit, which I think can be forgiven, but it won't be for an hour at a time. So, forgive me for interrupting, I just wanted to address that.
No, that's fair. There was a recent film in which I think they legitimately just say at the start of the film that, like, Beerus is training Goku and Vegeta, and it's like, okay, they're off-world, they're not getting involved. Like, to literally say, okay, they're not here. Just don't ask for them, they're not here. And it's Gohan, his daughter, and Piccolo as primary characters. As androids return, because the Red Army that made a bunch of androids before return and all this nonsense. And they've made 2 mega new androids, which look like aliens for some fucking reason. And they're super strong, and Piccolo, quote-unquote, betrays Gohan to work for them. Not because he wants to hurt them, but because he's working with them, and they've captured Gohan's daughter. He can literally be next to her at all times, whereas otherwise, he'd have to fight to get to her. That is legitimately why he's doing it. And it's like, once again, Piccolo, best dad.
Yep, best dad in the whole series.
I mean, in fairness, Gohan isn't too far behind him, partially because he listens to him. But Piccolo gets an orange form in this, which is basically he more or less becomes a kaiju, and he becomes super strong. Like he basically can make himself super stretchy in like a almost in a Luffy Gum kind of way, where he just becomes absurdly stretchy and strong. Except in this, for some reason they've made a monstrous form of Piccolo, or not Piccolo. Excuse me.
Right.
A monstrous form of Cell returns.
Oh, right, okay. I mean, when it's a movie, you know, at the end of the day,
it's not canon.
It's not canon, but it's also, you know, it's a movie, so it's like we gotta set, you know, people have to willingly buy this. we gotta sell it to people. So it's like, well, let's bring Cell back. People like Cell. Let's just make money.
Yeah. Except it's not a cell; it's a cell they've kept in like a stasis chamber, and they've experimented on. He's basically a mad monster that just has Cell's power. So it's like, congratulations, it's not Cell. It's just a monster with Cell's powers. You literally could have just given it a mustache, and that would have just like done the same booty. It's not him. But Piccolo more or less, nearly if not does, gets killed by this thing because he's holding it back while Gohan tries to Spirit Bomb.
Mm-hmm.
As is Piccolo and Vegeta's unfortunate role sometimes of, oh great, the bastard's lifted his arms up, I've got to get my ass kicked for the next 5 minutes. Fuck. But they watch Piccolo more or less get killed. And he turns into Beast Gohan, which is not because like he turns into animalistic. It's in the same way Goku has Ultra Instinct, and he basically can react at a microscopic speed and do all these new techniques. It's like that, but it's just, oh, okay. Gohan always is a good person and doesn't want to really hurt anyone. Mm-hmm. It's, oh no, this is every single limiter is gone. He's about to break fucker. He's about to break a man. Snap that bitch in half. He is not playing. And that's, that form showed up. And that's how I've learned of it from this thing, and I'm like, why the fuck have I found this from, like, watching Dragon Ball Z fighting game videos?
We're in obscure territory.
There was actually a really funny one that one of the people I watched, like Arrow, he pays animators to do stuff for his videos, and one of his main teams, like the guys he plays with a lot, one of their team combos is he plays Android 16. Another friend of his plays Broly, and another friend plays Videl, Gohan's girlfriend, who can summon Gohan as an aid in the middle of the fights. But this was when Beast Gohan got revealed, which is why they keep making Mr. Beast jokes with him.
Oh, right, okay.
Like, in the way that he's posed or the like. But...
A Kangaskhan! Sorry.
Ooh! I can't catch that. But, so essentially, he's, like, standing on top of a building, and one of the guys, Javi, is I believe he's either Hawaiian or he's Latino, or he's both. I believe he's at least Latino. And he starts speaking Spanish as this Gohan. As they prefer. Yes, it is Gohan Blanca. It is white Gohan, basically, like Beast Gohan. They make this joke also because the guy who plays Broly, an African American himself, got a mod which turned you might have seen it, where there's basically evil Goku. Like, it's Goku that's been taken over by, like, a god character, and he's evil, and he's killing people in the timeline. If you haven't, don't worry about it. It's literally just Goku with black hair.
Of course.
Yes, they had to eventually...
Because anime.
Yes,
a
god got his ass
this
kicked...
person is evil now. Black hair.
Yes, a god got his ass kicked by Goku so badly, he wanted to possess Goku so that he could use his perfect body, and he gets a little weird about it.
Hi, boss!
But of course, he has made him Goku. Oh no, he's called Goku Black, is his referred to. But instead, they made a mod which actually gave him like a very dark-skinned melanin, because he's like, yes, now I am Goku Black, who's actually black, and that's the running gag. Fuck you, cock Kangaskhan, not me.
My kangaroo.
So they make the jokes of this is Goku Blanc and the Spanish word for black, which I'm not saying because we're on an English server.
No.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I'm not saying it. We all know the word. We all know what it sounds like. I'm not doing it because Twitch is a bitch. But Goku, who fights with Videl, in this little cutscene they make, because literally he gets someone to animate it in the source filmmaker for him. Again, this man gets people to do this for a living for him. It's one of my favorite guys. He did a video for him in Marvel vs. Capcom 3. Legitimately was like, oh, by the way, because what he always does is, by the way, guys, post all of your stuff so that I can link it in the description of the video so that I can get traffic to your channels. This guy was like, my cat was very sick and nearly gonna die, and then this nice Irishman came and threw a bag of money at me to make something for him whenever I was ready, so here we go.
Aww.
I love Life Arrow. He's a good bean. But the animated Goku who was fighting, or Gohan who was fighting alongside Videl, jumping up, and do you know where a guy is pretending to be two people?
Mm.
And there's like a smoke cloud of dust popping up. Sorry. Smoky Bar Chunky, and it refused to go down quietly.
I'm sorry. The peak ADHD moment of I am hyper focusing on this thing, and I need to tell you about this thing, and I also need to cram this food into my mouth as quickly as possible. I'm not going to stop talking, but I am going to shove this food in my mouth while I am talking because I also need to eat. It's like, stop talking and then eat. Oh my god.
Never. Don't you dare tell me what to do. Nah, I'm gonna do my own thing.
I told you to move out, and then I told you to go to therapy. You're welcome.
I was aware there was an check engine sign on my mental health. You just pointed it out the first time you came in the car. Don't pretend. But essentially, there's like smoke. It's on top of a building where, like, you know, it's like a city building where there's like a little ledge, and one arm is coming up in the outfit of Gohan dressed like as a superhero form, and one as Gohan beast mode, and they like pull the other one down constantly, and he's like, "He's too strong and so attractive," oh, kind of thing as they go. And they make so many jokes about Broly having the biggest tits. Because of course Videl
he does though.
he does. Like,
He
of course
does,
Videl
though.
is like, there's actually a lot of art got made of it from one of their episodes where it's Videl doing the, you know, the meme I had you draw of Thane and Tala? It's that, but it's Videl and Broly.
Broly. That's good.
They had a friend of theirs who's, again, these are all people who professionally play fighting games for a living. And they just crank up modded, like, over ridiculous versions of games. Like, there's a mod of, like, there was 2 rabbits in as fighters, and they're very, very hard to beat because their hitboxes, because they're the size of rabbits, their hitboxes are fucking tiny. They can't be hit. They're just running around. They're too fast. It's legitimately trying to catch a rabbit, but also they have Super Saiyan powers.
Oh my god, that's funny.
But they had a buddy who was on, and they were doing the cooler and freeze the thing of, "Brother, come, let us kill this silly monkey." And as they were doing it, he was like someone who professionally plays Goku GT, which is like literally Goku got turned into a baby again, like a little young version of himself. And somehow
because GT is the name of the other one.
Yeah,
Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball GT, and Dragon Ball Z.
Mm-hmm. Which most of us only know about because they keep getting referenced at the start of every single DBZ Abridged one of like, oh, by the way, all of these are all theirs. We don't own it. And it's like, oh, what's the one I've never seen? Looks at it. That's why I don't watch it. Understood. Puts it away. They got absolutely stomped by him because he's another professional video game player. And they're like, all right, no, that's it. We've had this. We fucking had this. And they swap over to like Android 16, which is like Thero's main, because he loves dunking Gokus, because one of his grabs is just literally like he just jumps up in the air, grabbing someone, and then slams them into the ground. He dunks Gokus. He's very good at fighting Goku-style like play sides, because there's like 15 fucking Gokus in that game.
I mean, yeah.
There's all the different forms. And then there's Goku's dad, who's basically just Goku with a bandana. There's both fusions with Vegeta. There's Ultra Instinct. There's all the Super Saiyan forms, all of them. And he just dunks Goku's. Like, whenever he's playing the game on stream with some buddies, he has a dunk Goku counter in the top for every time he fights someone with a Goku.
I was about to say, this is like Smash Bros. When they're like, surprise, this is another Fire Emblem character, and it's like, Smash, all of your Fire Emblem characters play the same.
That's the same one you brought in last week. But it's so entertaining to watch them. But they both jump on their mains. He goes on Broly, and he goes on Android 16, and the other guy goes, "Oh shit, I'm about to get cooked," and he like swaps off of that GT Goku, and he does there's like a fucking little, you know, the kind of like model like 8, like the ×8 scale, like tiny models that people can get with like all the posing they can do. A lot of people do stop motion with them.
Yes, I know the one.
Someone did that with, yes. Someone did one of those with Broly holding an assault rifle, going, "Get that GT Goku back in here!" And as he's rolling on screen, Broly just goes, "My nipple is bigger than you. Come here."
God damn it!
What's worse is he's not far off.
He's not wrong.
He's not wrong, but he shouldn't say it. I'm also doing something which I quite enjoy, which is with my new scheme of my models, the rule is red on the right shoulder and right and left knee, and then it's black on the left shoulder and right knee.
Okay.
So they like match up, but whenever it's something different, i.e., they've got like a skull, it gets gold as like the base point of it. And if they're the sergeant, all their skulls are marked with silver.
Okay.
So it's been quite fun to do it in this little way and like think of it as I go. But I got really proud of one thing I was doing because I didn't want the guns to just look like they're matte black.
Mm-hmm.
So what I did was I was using a metallic paint that they have, and I was putting that on as like a one layer down at the bottom of it first.
Mm-hmm.
Then I took the black that I would use for the guns, and I put a little bit of down, like 40% of it basically would be there. And I say 40 because 60% of like the total mixture would be the medium, which is just, as you know, pigmentless.
Yes.
And it's like, it just gives like a thin, weathered look to it. Very, very happy with it. Very happy with it.
Nice.
And I'm getting quite fond of it, honestly.
Hell
and
yeah.
I'm kind of enjoying it.
Good. That's the good shit. You see, I'm here detailing these feet. So I've spent like the last half hour detailing this rear digit, so it's got this, the slight bump to it where the joints are going to be. And now I have to do that again on all of these ones, so this is probably good. If it's taking me half an hour to do the one, it's like, cool, so I've got another 2 hours of work here doing the rest of the toes. just in shaping the feet.
If it takes you that time to do it right, so be it.
Oh, I know, I'm not complaining, I just find that funny.
Yeah.
Just spending 2 hours just on feet. Because it's like
the joke is right there.
Yeah, I know. That's why it's funny. Like yes, they need to be detailed because
do I know any servers I can link about going, hey guys, you want to watch feet for 2 hours?
Oh no.
Get your views. Get them views.
Get them views. Hot bird feet. But yeah, it's like, I spend 2 hours working on feet, and it's another one of those things where it's like, are they going to be looked at? Probably not, but it's one of those things where it's like, well, you gotta have them. You can't just not have feet. But I am going to do one thing that I didn't do with the Cobalt, because with the Cobble I was trying very hard to keep it super, super optimized, which I did. It is good ranking. With this one, I'm more in the feel park of like, I'd be happy if it was like a medium ranking. By default. I don't think I want to go so far of it to be poor before it's even had anything put on it, because I, as an avatar user, find that frustrating sometimes. There's like certain avatars, you get them out the box and they're already poor ranking, so it's like, cool. So if I try to add things to this, it's already got a bad ranking, so, it's like, for some people who have good PCs, it doesn't matter, but you gotta bear in mind that not everybody does, so the majority of people will have like a setting to be like, oh, if an avatar is ranked really poor, automatically hide it. And you just sort of think, well, it's like, well, I don't want to be automatically hidden necessarily. No. So
yeah, because sorry, I only partially heard that, so sorry, the hyperfix that hit me. So are you saying that when people are like searching for avatars, they'll just like toggle off viewing poor quality, like not quality, poor like optimization models when they're looking for them? Is that what you were saying, or did I
like when you're actually like in the game, the avatars have rankings within the game on their how large they are, which is based off various things that VR chat stipulates. Whether it's a mixture of all sorts of things. So it's like a mixture of how many polys you have. It's a mixture of your texture memory, how many bones the actual model has. Shading, lighting, because you can add light sources to these things. Like people can literally put like a lightsaber sword as an accessory, and they can have it so that it actually emits light because it's in a game, so you can make it a light source. So things like that, they all add up. And as basically, because much like any other game, will have a graphics settings slider. In VR chat, the only real way to have a quote unquote graphics settings is to hide people's avatars. So if you have a PC that struggles more to run VR and VR chat, then you may want to turn on a setting which is, if an avatar is a rank of very poor, automatically hide it. So someone will walk up to you, and if their avatar is very poor, you don't see it. You will just see like a stand-in, which looks like this kind of grey robot tends to be the default
Oh,
VR chat
like
stand-in.
the Anon on Tumblr, like the
Yeah,
little
yeah,
gray man.
it almost looks like that. Yeah. So basically, so your computer doesn't explode, which is valid, But
Yeah.
back when I used to play VR for the very first time, and I was playing it actually on my dad's gaming laptop. It was still a game. It was still a laptop, but it was a game. So like it could run VR, but it was still a laptop. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna have to turn a few avatars down. And there's things as well where it's like you can say like, oh, hide all very poor avatars, but exclude people who are my friends, for example. So it's like if you know a friend and you know somebody and you want to be able to see them and talk to them, you can override it, but you can be like, oh, just strangers who walk in, just hide it so that I don't catch fire.
Fair.
So
Makes
yeah,
sense, yeah.
which makes sense. So it's one of those things where it's like, as I said, out of the box. It's like some people are perfectly fine with having very poor avatars. I've got a couple of avatars that are ranked very poor. But I feel like as something that you're sort of like selling and trying to get people to use, it's like if it's out of the box is very poor, it's like cool. So without
That's
even
not a great selling point.
yeah, it's not a great selling point. It's like some people do not care, and literally are just like my avatar has this, this, and this on it, and you just have to deal with it. And it's like cool. Thank you for being considerate.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, and again, there's some where you can't help it, but it's like some worlds. I've been in a couple of worlds that have been like club worlds, and they literally have like a thing on because it's a club world, and the idea is that there's lots of people in there, so they literally have a big sign before you enter that you have to like click and interact with, which is like, please only wear an avatar that is medium or better when you are in this world, so that so that the world runs better. And
that is dead ass. You have to wear this outfit if you want to come in the club.
Literally,
That is
and I know that some people probably do just sort of go, yeah, whatever, click, and then they just walk through or whatever. But one time when I was there, literally, someone did actually come up who was like a moderator for the world, almost like like a Discord server, and they came up to someone in our group who had just turned up, and they were like, hey, you need to change out of that avatar because its ranking is too bad, and they were like, oh shit, sorry. So it's just like, bloop.
That awkward moment when the mod has to just like rolls up, hand on shoulder. I need to talk to you, buddy.
It's like, hey, buddy.
I'm gonna keep it weird with you, chief.
Like it's understandable, and again, if you've got good PCs, then it doesn't matter too much. Like now that I play VR on my good PC, generally it doesn't matter too much. But it's just one of those things of like being thoughtful towards other people.
Yeah.
Because there's avatar bases out there which are kind of like medium by default, but people will still purposely, intentionally just like cram as much shit on there as they can. And it's like poor, it's like poor XL kind of thing of just like, if you look at this guy, he will eat your frames, and you're like, dude, do you want to take some of that stuff on it? And he's like, no, you just have to deal with it. And I'm like, okay, whatever, block.
Fucking mimetic agent from SCP, where you look at it too long, you start dying.
Yeah, some people do that intentionally because they are dicks, which is literally like crashes. Literally in VR chat, people will make these avatars that are so bad that you look at them and you crash, and they're like, ha ha ha, and I'm like, cool, you have no life. Go touch grass.
What's the one from from Toy Story? You are a sad little man and you have my pity.
There appears to be no sign of intelligent life anywhere.
Here, hello. Joking.
So you were too fancy with this area, changing to something less fancy.
Basically.
So hello, first time chatter. You caught me in the middle of a VRC rant. Yeah, I will say that V as well. It's not all on people's fault. Sometimes there are things in VR chat where it's like a bit. It's a hard thing to judge of like if you slap something on a poor ranking, but you look at it and it's like there's not a lot to it, but you've just given it that ranking because it has, too many polygons or something. And it's like, yes, polygons are bad, but they're not as bad as some things. It's the best they can do with what they have, basically. And then there's quests where it's like, well, you might as well run it on a kettle. Hi, V! So yeah, so I'm not to bring this very long tirade to a halt. I've just realized that I was talking for so long that Spotify actually stopped playing because Spotify does that sometimes.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, that's how long I've been talking because I went on a tirade of to come back round of I'm not going to necessarily aim for good on this one. I'm probably going to try to aim for medium, so I've got to give myself like more detail because I love the cobble. It's one of those things where it's like if you look at it, it's like it's maybe not as refined as it could be, and I was like, yeah, but I didn't want it to be. I want it to be good ranking. So it's like, you know, essentially people probably have to intentionally hide you if you had it, because if you were wearing it just as default out the box, it's like, well, I'm good ranking, so I literally couldn't be better. So people will see you.
I dropped my mini.
Yeah, because again, to go back to the concepts that I wrote up, one of the things that I want to try adding again, I'm challenging myself and making new stuff, is I want to add clothes to this by default as well. So once the base mesh is like done, we'll actually be giving clothes as well, and that's another thing that adds to the poly count and the texture count and all of that, which can add up. Which is why like a lot of quest and low ranked avatars don't come with clothes, because that just adds too much stuff. But there we go.
I had a little bit of fun last night where on one of the Warhammer servers, somebody was like posting up like about armies, like, hey, here's my starting list that I have for this army. What does people think of it? And like I just rolled in and I was like, that's a decent list. You got like some decent of these. Do you mind if I just like give you a bit of a critique on it though? And I promise you, I'm not being this to be malicious. I'm just seeing where you could look at things for the future, for future model ideas, to complement what you have or to narrow out their flaws. And he's like, oh yeah, sure, go ahead. So it's primarily a melee force, which is all well and good once he gets in melee. It's getting into melee that's the issue.
Yes.
And you will be absolutely smushed by everything until you do. And a lot of his stuff was frail. He had nothing durable. So I was like, okay, consider this, consider this, consider this. And I ended up sitting there with a bunch of people just like going, okay, so wait, what if I do this? And I'm like, that works unless you do this. And then if your opponent does this, in another hypothetical, you're in trouble. And I was just after going, holy shit, do I know what I'm talking about?
Hey!
But the reason as well that there was a lot of excitement about it, and it was a real challenge at work because at 2 o'clock, I got 2 o'clock yesterday, my boss was in work, but I got DM'd by so many people going, oh my god, I never want to play you, I never want to play you now, I never want to play you. And I'm like, the fuck did I do? Was I like misusing an ability or something? Like, what the fuck is on? They announced what the new detachments are going to be, or hinted at most of them, but revealed a few pieces for detachments. Now, this is basically how you run your army, more or less. So it's like, oh, these are based on the different Space Marine legions, and they complement certain playstyles. For example, one is very, I'm going to stand still and shoot you a fuck ton, and every time I shoot you with these kind of guns, I do way better with these kind of guns than I would with anything else. It's like, oh, that's very fair. It gives this army its very thematic look. It's not, but what they're doing is, they're doing them as detachments, so now, god damn it, Core. Oh, Christ. They're doing them as detachments, because previously it was like, oh, you want to run salamander style lists, as in you want to run a bunch of flame weapons and melter weapons and all these other things. Grant, you must have them painted in that color scheme. If you can't, at a tournament, they do not count as that thing. You won't be able to run them, because people are that particular when it comes. People are that particular when it comes to competitive. Now,
gatekeeping.
In a way, yes. In the modern day, there was a huge thing about it on one of the servers, but it was one guy who had one opinion and everyone else going, Chief, this is just you. This is just you here, I'm going to be honest. Where he was like, if someone's running in and saying, oh yeah, this gun is this, and this, I'm not going to play against them, because that's stupid. And everyone's going, we're talking about casual play, you realize this, right? Like, if someone's playing in a competitive game, the whole element is you've built the model to have a certain gun on it.
Mm.
It kind of makes sense that he wouldn't want to do this in a competitive because it's like, okay, I look across the board, I know that guy has this type of gun. I know what that model and that unit are designed to do. If you bring a model and say, oh, these models are proxying this other type of unit, it would be like, oh, I entirely forgot that that's what they actually are meant to do during the heat of battle and the heat of the game, and that unit just killed something of mine off, and well, that's bullshit. And I don't like that. It's a bit of a sore loser thing, but when it comes to competitive, I see it.
Mm-hmm.
I see it, but I'm not wholly in favor of it. It was that same element with chapters, where it's like, oh, you're not running these as... They're not all green, you can run them as salamanders, for example. Or, oh, well, you run these in the Dark Angel green, not the salamander. Like, you could get someone who could try to dick you over that particularly, if you want to, but, like, of course, that's where, like, somebody comes in as a ref, looks at it and goes, you're an asshole, you're fine, keep playing. Kind of thing.
Very off-putting for the entire thing.
Yes, massively. So the new thing is, rather than it being you must play as salamanders, i.e. you're green, you use melt weapons, you run these detachments. Instead, now they're referred to as detachments because they're elements of the chapter, like Strike Forces, the First Company, which are like the elites. So these are like guys in those big Terminator armors and all the veteran squads and things that benefit them, but also like buff their durability because they're elites. So a lot of people will go, okay, I'm going to bring all the things that are good versus elites. But they get buffs and stratagems now in this detachment that are like, oh, you're aiming at my really durable unit with guns designed to kill them? Okay, here is a stratagem. This stratagem will reduce the damage of that incoming attack by 1 to a minimum of 1. You know, stuff like that, to balance out, to give them a shot. Because if the elite unit is getting stomped, it's no fun. The reason people are saying they don't want to play against me is the Firestorm Assault Squad, or Assault Detachment has been shown off in some elements. It is primarily close range fire and vehicle support. Vehicles aren't one that I'm known for, but what I am known for is close range fire support, because I literally run close range fire. So they have a new rule, and it's actually a really powerful but balanced one. When your models are close enough to the enemy, they're more likely to actually successfully hurt them. They're stronger, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to like go into numbers because, well, you don't need to know those. It's more just, it really brings them up into like, oh, this tank is as durable as that gun is strong. Now, this tank is weaker than this gun is strong, ergo it's more likely to successfully wound them. But it's only when things are within 12 inches. In Warhammer, that's close range. You're within range of somebody charging you back if you don't kill them off. So if it's a durable unit you try to like pip down with something, a powerful melee unit can just run you through with it. Stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And they all know that I run a lot of durable close range support stuff like this, like really close range fire stuff. And one of the stratagems that are coming out with this is actually hilarious. I think it's called like vehicle support or something of the akin. So, you start with a unit off the board. That is because they are within a certain vehicle. The vehicle moves up, and at one point it can deposit them out. If your opponent has shot you before you've dropped them out of the unit, like out of the tank, you can use a stratagem, like one of these, like, you know, interrupting kind of cool moves, and go, okay, I'm spending CP. This unit is coming out of this tank. They are now going to shoot you because you shot their ride. You shot their fucking car. They're shooting you back, you motherfucker.
Makes sense.
And I find it so funny as like oh, don't worry guys, we could take out this tank, it came too close to us, and just boots open door, out comes 6 of these giant burly men with flamestorm gauntlets just going, what's up, fucker? And my gun's auto hit. But they've changed one of the major rules for the Space Marines as well, where now it's previously you target one thing, and all your dice rolls are re-rolled against him. Basically, like, oh yeah, mess up that unit. Now it's only half of the attacking rolls against him get re-rolled. And everyone's like, oh my god, this is a travesty. All my builds are busted now. They're all nerfed. It's ruined. I'm sitting here going, none of my guns have to hit. All my guns just have to wound. Which is like, oh, that's kind of sucky, because that's the one side of it that doesn't get buffed now. But you might remember a friend of mine, a wonderful friend, made a model for me of one of the characters from the Salamanders. He, in the shooting phase, picks one enemy unit within 24 inches that he can see, and every Melta and Torrent being the classification for flame weapon, gets to reroll all the dice they have against it. He just points at one guy and goes, get that motherfucker.
Get him.
Get him.
Get him.
And it is very enjoyable, because I'm just sitting here going, my army is very strong now. This makes me quite happy. I legitimately had big ND stimmies about this, like,
happy stims.
You know the feral memes where it's like just someone's bit something and they're shaking it about in their mouth?
Yeah.
That would somebody asked me like, hey buddy, how you doing? And I just posted that back and they're like, understood.
Understood. Yeah.
Like, because I'm not happy because, oh, that was the other side. So in the last edition, a lot of the flame weapons that existed, they were good, but they were good in a really short range. So you had to get close. What you could do is advance. That's where in the movements phase, you get to add a d6 to, you roll a dice. And that's how much additional inches your model gets to move. Most things exist at like movement 6, for example. So this can potentially double something's movement. In the last edition, it made you worse at shooting because, you know, you were running so much that it made you difficult at shooting for guns that could do it. But flame weapons auto hit, so it's one of those things of, oh no, I don't have to brace myself, I'm just aiming in front and going boom, boom, boom. This detachment also gives back this assault keyword to all guns. And again, all these buffs to strength only exist for ranged weapons. So you can still get them in melee. If you get in melee with these guys, they're probably in trouble. Fucking core. I did, son of a bitch. Yes, core. No, core. It's a little bit more accurate of, you see that thing? I don't want to. Get rid of it.
Become atomized.
I've
just been here pondering these feet, and as I was looking at them, I was like, shit, I've just realized that these don't match up.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh, John.
This line here is the middle line of this toe. And it goes through here into the front toe. But that's not the middle line of the front toe. That one is.
Oh boy.
So that is not matching up, and now I'm just like, fuck. Well, I don't want to redo the back toe because I just spent half an hour shaping it, whereas these ones are still twigs. So now I'm going to be sit here for 20 minutes pondering of like, how do I want to do this? Essentially what I need to do is grab these faces and pull them forward, but as you can see, it does that. It needs to come out like that so that they mesh up, but then I've essentially got two toes sitting on top of each other, so I might have to just sort of like glue that together, maybe, like that. It's going to be a lot of finagling, so I'm once again going to be sat here just like, concentrate. As I try to wrap my head around how I want to do this.
I'm going to be concentrating for a hot minute because I have to freehand write the word Vulcan on a piece of parchment on this guy. And that's not easy to do.
No, it doesn't sound easy.
Anyone who knows what my handwriting looks like anyway knows how shit it is. So it's like, oh god, I have to do this freehand with paint.
Okay, even though I spent a few minutes adding them in, I think this will be easier if I remove these edges. that I added back in to give me more definition.
But I had a very similar effect last Friday. I played against a buddy. They've upgraded the Death Guard. They're the zombie, plague, Nurgle Space Marines. They're the evil ones. They've buffed them now so that at the start of the battle, they always get, basically, they make you less tough. They make you easier to hurt with their plagues when you're within a certain range of them. And over the course of a battle, these ranges expand around the models and around bases that they've taken. Like, literally, they've contaminated the location.
Yes.
At the start of the battle, you can now do 3 things. You can either give any enemy hit by these gets worse to their ballistic, like basically they're worse at fighting. You can make it worse, their saves against your attacks worse, or you can make their ability to hold an objective basically not exist, more or less. And it's actually really good for them because once you get too close and you're sitting there going, oh dear Christ, I'm stuck in this now. I'm stuck in this torpor and I can't get out. It was legitimately by the end of it. Now, I won handily on points because his army is still slow, but I felt kind of bad for it, but I did warn him ahead of time, like, if he did this, I'm going to shoot at him. So, when enemy models move, you can do a thing called Overwatch. Usually you have to roll a certain... Yes.
That was a joke.
Yes, I know. Usually you have to do a certain ballistic, like, you have to roll, like, oh, your skill is 3. You have to hit a 3 on a dice to hit this person. Instead, in this, when you're overwatching, you must roll a 6 to do so. But I did this with my Eradicators, who can reroll when they're targeting vehicles. He moved up a really big tank that had a big APC, that armored personnel carrier, that had a bunch of guys in it. So he did this, and I was like, okay, I'm going to overwatch you on your turn, and I'm going to try and light you up because I have to kill this unit off. If I let you get too close with it, I'm in serious trouble. I blow up the tank with damage to spare, kill like a third of his unit that came out of it from the explosion. And he was like, oh, it's okay, I'm going to charge you and use stratagems and shoot at you now. And I went, but bud, your tank got blown up. You're basically considered battle shocked for that, which means he can't charge me now, which means he's not able to like run at me and like attack me with the models on this turn. So I basically, they're more or less like stunned after they get out of the tank, and they're only doing like mediocre shooting, which actually made a difference because he used a stratagem. And I went, wait, you're not able to actually do that because you got battle shocked. You wouldn't have been able to do so. And I took the models that would have killed and took them back onto the board because I was like, well, technically I would have been able to have these back still. And he went, oh shit, you're right.
Piss.
Yeah. And
I'm sitting here looking at 2 different weapons, about to ask Blue what she thinks because I fall back on her for being the authority source knowledge base for Monster Hunter, and I realise that I'm technically Pat at the moment. I know I'm always down to talk about Monster Hunter stuff though, Cole.
Yes. Always talk about Monster Hunter stuff.
I failed my first hunt today. I unlocked 4 stars and then immediately went into a 4-star thing. And to be fair, I deserved it because the game actually had a pop-up say, oh, there's a recommended armor rank for fighting this, which you do not meet, which is the first time I'd ever seen that. But I was like, I've got a matching elemental weapon for this, so it'll be fine. It wasn't fine. But it was one of those ones where I didn't like commit to the fight and then lose. It was literally that I went into the fight, took a couple of hits, and I sort of looked at my health, looked at the monster's health, looked at the timer, and I was like, nah, I'm gonna cut my losses and I'm gonna back out.
Fair.
I was like, I could brute force this, but I would use up every single potion in my inventory. And I was like, nah, I'm just gonna cut my losses. It's a Giratotus, it's fine, I'm not gonna lose sleep over it.
Not gonna break your heart, yeah.
Yeah, because it's like, I'd done the story Giratotus, and I looked at the Giratotus weapons, and then the Giratotus gear, and I was like, yeah, no, probably not gonna make that, so don't exactly need Juratoda's parts, so again, it was like, I'm not going to lose sleep over this. But it was technically my first defeat.
I had a lot of fun in the last match I played as well, because one thing I felt very clever for was, and I can thank Mali's husband and Kay for this in addition, because they both love deep striking models directly into my back lines, which pisses me off to no end. Essentially, models jumping behind your things through like teleportation tactics or like jetpacks that are dropping in from low orbit, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, backdooring.
Yeah.
Like we would do in fucking Heroes of the Storm.
Yes, in a way,
Oh
yes.
my god, the backdooring was real. We salute you, Nerin, once more on your birthday.
And Nerwin just running through like, hello! Yes, keep fighting them over there. I am literally just gonna destroy their base while you do this.
So what's your guys' strat as a team? So it's like, okay, so what we do is all of us go in one lane and distract them, and then Nerin goes in another lane and backdoors. And that's the strat.
In a
so
nutshell.
busy concentrating on us, and then he sets up shop in like a bush somewhere and they can't see him, and he just chips away, just pink, 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 and then suddenly they have no walls. God, we're insufferable kinds of players because unfortunately, gang, we play for fun, so we do stupid shit.
Yeah. Like me jumping into a middle of a melee and Spook running in like a little blended bitch and just like, we're not falling over! We don't care. But, he had 3 units of really dangerous things that he wanted to drop into my backlines. I had screened it out so well that he legitimately took a ruler and was like, I have no space to drop anything back here, because you have to do it outside of 9 inches of an enemy unit.
Mm-hmm.
I had some stuff which has that at 12 inches, and the rest of the things were just all sat there going, you physically can't get in here. And he was sat here going, fuck, I can't. You bastard. I legitimately have no way to get in here. And I'm like, So instead he drops everything on top of the guys that I deep strike into his backline. And it's like, so that's basically won me the game, because now he has nothing that he can run to run up to score things on my side. He has to, all those guys, they're very strong, they can teleport in, but they're slow on the movement, so it's very easy to like outpace them, keep away kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, oh, well, this sucks for us, doesn't it? And I'm like, yeah. I just had to use a bit of paint to go over the thing I just painted down, because I'm like, no, that does not line up. That is just like Vulcan, not Vulcan. So I need to fix that. And Vulcan libs. And I was like, oh no, that's not how you spell Vulcan.
Interesting. Juratosa's Sun Shield was one of the weapons I was thinking about. Really? Fair enough. I guess I didn't examine the Juratoda's Sword and Shield because I had the Jagrish Sword and Shield, which is also water element at the moment. Because I watched a couple of the videos, obviously, sort of like talking about the game naturally, and it's very sound advice, but it was just very funny that they were like, when you first get into the game, like, don't just drop all of your materials on swords and shield, because you don't know if that's the weapon you're going to play, because that's the starting weapon, and you've got to get to a certain level to unlock the others. And I was like, fair. But now but the funny thing is that I'm at the stage where I've unlocked the other weapons and I've tried some of them, and I'm like, I think I still want to play sword and shield. Because my style that I like in Monster Hunter is a faster hitting weapon with mobility, hence Insect Glaive. You know, before Insect Glaive existed in the franchise, I played dual blades.
But the caveat is, it's like, yeah, don't do this yet. Try things out.
Yeah, it's like,
you know?
it's sound advice, which I would give to new players, of like, find out which weapon that you want to play. I just find it funny that even though they were like, it's sword and shield's fine, but you'll probably prefer the other weapons, and my response was, I don't. I don't prefer the other weapons. Because there's no dual blades, and there's no Insect Glaive, so sword and shield is the fast attacking weapon in the game. Like, there's a longsword, but longsword is sort of fills in that, like, mid-tier thing. Like, you could argue that Insect Glaive is a mid-tier speed weapon, but it makes up for it in the mobility, because obviously you have the vault and the spinning and all of that, so you get more mobility, which is what I like, but Insect Glaive is not in the mobile game.
Is this Monster Hunter Go? Sorry.
It's called Monster Hunter now, because obviously Go would probably have... If they called it Monster Hunter Go, they'd probably have Nintendo shouting at them, so it's called Monster Hunter now.
Yeah, Monster Hunter now, I'm not going to look at it.
It is still by Niantic. It's the same developers.
Niantic just making bank off of doing all these.
They made Ingress, and it caught people's attention of like, a game that you can play. Because if you don't know, if you've never heard of Ingress, picture Pokemon Go. It was a game about it's a mobile game about walking around and interacting with things in the world in the game. So yeah, and they just made that technology, and all of these companies basically come to them and be like, can we use this technology with our IP, basically. So yeah. I will say that obviously Pokemon Go had so many teething issues, but it was still a fun game regardless, obviously, otherwise it wouldn't have exploded like it did. Like, the game now barely resembles how it was when it came out. I will say that playing Monster Hunter now, it is clear that Niantic has definitely learnt from Pokemon Go, because I would say it runs really well, actually. I'm impressed with how well it runs. Because they're downgraded models from, the game, but they're still decent looking. And, when you tap on things and interact with things, I can't say that I notice any huge delay or anything. And, like, the gameplay... Again, it's a mobile game, so you're tapping and swiping and that's it, but they've done a good job, I would say, of translating different ways of playing, of, how each weapon is different. The sword and shield you can dodge quickly, and if you press and hold the screen, you block with the shield. But then if you are playing a greatsword, it's you press and hold to do your charging attack, because that's what greatsword is known for, is to have a big charge attack, which you then release with a big, massive wham, and it does feel good to play, which is how Monster Hunter should be. So, all in all, I am reasonably impressed with Monster Hunter now. I have been playing it, as Core will know, because they'll have seen my Hunter level shoot up. I'd say the last sort of like 3-4 days, because it's only been out about 3-4 days. When I've been out the house, I've been playing Monster Hunter and not Pokemon Go. I'll be honest. It is a lot more like. It is more active. It is more like playing a game. Pokemon Go, you can just kind of half pay attention to it. You can walk and talk and just like, tap a Pokemon and catch it, and tap a Pokemon and catch it, and tap a Pokemon and catch it. But obviously in Monster Hunter, it is more of a game. So you're tapping on the screen, but you need to pay attention, because it's like, well, the monster will hit you, and it'll take half your health, because it's Monster Hunter. That's how it is. So you are playing a game a lot more than you are with Pokemon Go, which again, it's like some people who have played Pokemon Go may not like that, but some people who have played Pokemon Go may prefer that. They may be like, oh, I actually prefer this because I'm actually like engaged with it. So yeah, it's fun. I like it.
Nice.
And one nice thing is that because it's by Niantic, if it detects that you have a Pokemon Go, if you have Pokemon Go on your phone, when you log in, it's like, hey, do you want to use your Pokemon Go login? And it's like, yep, and it'll sync your friends list. So I didn't even have to add Core as a friend in Monster Hunter now, because it knew that I was friends with them in Pokemon Go, so it just added them in automatically. It'd just be like, hey, you guys are friends. So
nice.
Yeah. I'm interested to see where they go. It is very much world monsters at the moment. It's all very much clearly world inspired, which says to me that they must have been developing this before Rise came out, so I assume it's had a decent amount of development time. I'm interested to... I mean, I know it just came out, so it's a lot to say right now, but for the sake of the longevity of the game, I am curious if they will add in other weapons. I think it is very obvious they'll add in other monsters, because, I mean, look at Pokemon Go. They keep adding in new Pokemon. So, yes, I think they will add in new monsters, but the game just came out, so I can't imagine they will be doing that very soon. But, yeah. That is my main thing of, will they actually add in the other weapons? Who's to say?
It is a mystery.
So, yeah. I'm having fun. Having fun with the Monster Hunter game. Yeah, which is why when yesterday you call when you asked me like when I start chapter 7, have me tell you what monster I think it is, and like looking at the footprint, I was like, I don't really know, but basically because it's Monster Hunter World, I was like, well, if I remember Monster Hunter World, the monster we hunt next is this monster, so I assume that this footprint must belong to this monster, which I could kind of see. Probably not what I would have immediately pictured their footprint to look like, but it's one of those things where it's like you stop and think about it, and it's like, yeah, it probably has that many toes, and that's where the claws are, so that probably is its footprint. It's one of those things where I'm just like, it's probably not gonna be, you know, freaking Azuros, because there wasn't an Azuros in World, and this is very clearly based in World.
Go off, Queen.
Yes. Another reason to be like, what monsters are they going to add in? Because, like, it's very clearly World, but there's also very clearly monsters missing. Like, from what I understand, I'm not at the. I don't know if there is a quote unquote end game, because I'm still playing through. But I know because I feel like people would have said at this point, there's no Elder Dragons in the game at the moment. So I'm like, okay, that's understandable, because Elder Dragons are meant to be a big deal. If they're going to be like Pokemon Go, where they've got legendary raids, I'm like, well, that's what an Elder Dragon is. It would be a legendary, so they're going to make a big hype deal event out of them being added in. So I'm like, well, surely they'll add them in at some point, because let's be honest, it's like, you know, Nergigante was the flagship of World. He's the guy on the box, so they gotta put him in at some point.
I don't want peace. I want problems, always. Nergigante 2020. Just wanted all the smoke with every single person he could get his hands on.
Yeah, my question is, clearly they're gonna add Elder Dragons, but my question is like, will they add in other, like, mid-tier monsters?
So who have you enjoyed fighting so far? Has there been any like actual challenge? Not challenge, but like are any of their elements from the game?
Yeah, it does seem like they've even transferred like the animations over. Like I recognize them because that's, you know, we put like, how many hours did I put in? I'm not going to open Steam, but like, yeah, it's somewhere in the 600 region. I put a lot of hours into World, so some of those animations are ingrained into my mind, so it is kind of fun to see that, like, they keep them. Funnily enough, Great Gyros gave me a bit of problems because paralysis, because all of the other monsters obviously have their elements, which is damage, whereas Great Gyros, it was like, here's a spit attack and it's the paralysis, and much like in World, you can get comboed very quickly of, he spits at you and you get paralyzed and you fall on the floor, and then you're just a sitting duck for when he lines up to smash you, which, if you've not got good armor, 2 hits in Monster Hunter, that can be it, you know, that can be you dead with, you know.
Game over.
So, yeah, I've been struggling with him. Yeah, when I first unlocked Great Gyros, it's like, okay, I've hunted one, and then it's like, cool, now you've unlocked them, you can hunt them in the wild, and I was like, alright, make sure I'm at full health before I tackle another one, because that made me sweat.
The only way to have a monster fight is it makes you sweat. I know I'm listening to his playlist right now, but again, speaking of something that I can't wait to fight, I'm very normal about my desire to fight Edmund Distreus. Just because I want to brawl with the bastard. Give me more! Okay. So I put on a technical storm shield. It's a form of a varnish on elements of my models now.
Mhm.
Reason I've done this is that once it dries, which does not take very long, I can then put transfers on because it's a nice clean. Hi, Dan.
Hi,
Dan,
Dan.
use the fucking code I gave you before I give it to someone else.
Code?
Yeah, I gave him a Blue Sky code.
Oh, hey!
Use the fucking code before I give it to someone else. I say this as a joke. I say this as a joke.
Yeah, only if
I
you
say
wanna,
this as a
only if you
joke.
want to join. Like, if I got a code, I would have given it to Curls if Curls had not expressed several times that she's not interested in going on Blue Sky.
Fair. I don't blame you.
I have to for my work. To get to gradually uploading stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm not directly promoting the fact that I have these things until I'm caught up.
Yeah. No, my transfer.
Where do I put said code? When you try to make an account, it'll ask for one. I have endless fun when I've been to a couple of like meetups and hangouts, and I always take an unnecessary amount of enjoyment of me being to be able to go, I'm on the Me website.
It's also very easy advertisement. It's like, I'm over there. Oh, hang on. How the fuck do I link this to you, then? Well, I hope this works, actually. I say, when I have a paintbrush in the mouse, paintbrush over the ear.
What's it for? I've received no marketing. Oh, you don't know what it is?
I asked, did you want a code for the B Sky app, and you're like, sure.
Did you think it was a game? It's a social media app that people are using as an alternative to Twitter because Twitter is a burning trash heap.
Wanted to check if you wanted a Blue Sky website invite. Oh hell yeah! Here you go.
You don't even know what it is.
And here's
Oh,
my
bless you,
screenshot.
sweetie. Bless you.
You're quite alright. Don't worry about it. I said the that is fair. I said the Blue Sky.
It's not my website. This is all very understandable.
Yes.
Imagine my face when a new social media platform drops, and it is called Blue Sky. It's not my website. It's a Twitter 2.0. It's called Blue Sky. Thank you, sweetie.
I have now linked it to you, friend. That's not the Twitter handle. That's not the Twitter handle.
No, this time it was Das confusing. I'm only learning about this now. They look the same. Yes, that's the idea. Because Twitter is a burning trash heap, and Blue Sky is a new alternative that doesn't have like, it's not inundated with ads, and you can like cater your feeds, and you can like discover things. Yep. God, don't stop showing me the same thing twice. Yeah. Basically, it has a lot of features that people have wanted on Twitter, like the ability to properly flag things. So every time there is discourse about Twitter because Muskrat has done something else stupid, more and more people migrate over to the Blue Sky.
Okay, Den, very fair. Very sorry that I did not specify. I thought you were aware of what the Blue Sky site was. But in fairness, you did not also ask, hey, so where do I use this? So hey, look, when did I message you this? I think I messaged you. Yeah, I messaged you this when I was tired as well. Everyone's fine.
It's an alternate Twitter. So if you use Twitter a lot, but you're getting frustrated with all of the dog shit on there, then consider it. If not, you're good. There's a decent market at the not market because you're not selling them, but there's a decent amount of people out there who
Yes.
are clamoring for these codes. I was one of them. I was clamoring for 2 of them because I need them for my work. Because
And I got you both of them.
you got both of them, which I really appreciate.
Oh, Long John. A timer? Oh no, sorry. I was more checking with. There's no timer with it.
There's no timer. Das is just asking, do you want it, or can they give it to someone else? Because, as we said, that people want them.
Yes, I'm sorry. I looked up this morning, or when I got back from work today, because I'm deliberately not downloading any app on my phone for this thing at all.
Yeah.
Deliberately, I'm keeping it separate so that it's something that I have there.
Understandable. I have immediately downloaded the app for it again, because...
Again, you need it for work.
I'll need it, yeah.
Yeah, but then I wasn't doing it for that. I just went on, because on the right, you could see invite codes available. And I currently have one available, and I went, oh, did I get another one? No, it's the same one I sent to you. I was like, they haven't used it yet. Not to say to her next time I see her. And here we are. Saying it to you next time I see you. Shimmy, shimmy, shimmy. I have to shimmy a lizard. I have to shimmy a lizard.
Shimmy, 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 shimmy.
Yeah. I'll have to, like, record this and show it to you at some point, because I think you'll get a good laugh out of it. So, essentially, get on. There we go. No. So, I mentioned about that varnish. What I didn't mention is with the transfer sheets, is what I tend to do. You don't have to, but what I tend to do is I tend to cut out from the transfer sheet the symbol that I want, and I do this for a reason. Hey, there you go, Dan.
Hey!
Poggers in the chat. Yeah. So what I tend to do is I try to get the fucking
What I try to do.
My dear boy, get on that fucking shoulder plate.
When you get angry at stuff, do you call it my dear now? Or is that just you doing a bit? If you do, that is very funny.
I don't at work, because it will be weird. That doesn't say a lot when I have to say my dear when I get frustrated at something, when everyone knows I use that for Stacy. It's like, my dear, the fuck are you doing? There, it's on. So, what I tend to do is I separate out the piece of paper from my sheet. And then I take a little bit of water from my paint tub, and I put it on both sides of the sheet. So I wet it, just like with the brush, dab, dab. Then I take a dry brush with a flat, like you can get brushes flat, with a flat end. I place it on the paper, but not on the transfer, and I shimmy it. Now, the transfers, by the way, are the little pictures. You've definitely seen these on the sides of some models before, even if you didn't know what they were. They're literally the art pieces. It's like, how did they draw that so well? They didn't. That was the transfer. And you shimmy it off, and then it's on your paintbrush, because the water weakens the adhesive that's beneath it. That's keeping it to the transfer sheet. That's why I cut it off, so that I don't wet other pieces and make them move. Then I shimmy it off, pop it on the piece, and then once it's on and solid, and also a few brush strokes just to make sure that it doesn't have any air bubbles in it, because that will be very obvious on these. I then go over it with a little bit of varnish again to give it a coat that'll keep it pinned down, number 1, and number 2, protected.
Very good.
And keeps them solid, clean, and tidy. but it's the last thing you'll do to a shoulder piece because, well, you're not painting over that again.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Dan, it's mandatory. You must now follow me. Those are the rules. It's you didn't see it when you used the app, but that's legal requirements. Give me followers. I need followers on the internet.
They followed me first, bitch.
How dare you?
Love you.
Found you.
Just look in my recent followers.
Yes. Exactly.
I'm cheating because I have 2 accounts.
Yes. Speaking of clout on the internet, somehow and for some reason I have 200 followers on TikTok.
Very nice.
Just for mini painting.
That's good. It's the internet. There is a niche for everything.
Yeah. And of course, I use every single hashtag.
Oh, so do I. You gotta
But
play the game.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if most of these things are bots. But I'm no fussed, because the model I put up yesterday has 820 views.
Hey! We love to see it.
No, I put that on Monday, so that's it.
Is it like when I did the D&D one, I had essentially it went viral because I got 10k likes on it. Like nothing that I have made since then has even remotely gotten close. So basically that one TikTok got me the followers that I have, which on TikTok is 1,000, and I'm just if I could have 1,000 followers on any of my other platforms, God, I would be so happy. But I don't, and it's fine. But yeah. But all of the stuff that I've done since then, it's like minuscule. So it's the internet, you know. It's you get lucky, and then nothing happens, and that's just how it is, and that's the game we play. Discord died? Oh, heck. My Discord did want an update before stream. So it could be that yours wants an update. Hey chat, how are you doing? My model's gotten twisted again. Twisted! Shake, 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 baby! Are we not on shuffle? Because we just... No, we are on shuffle. It was just a weird coincidence. Let go, everybody disappears, and I hope you don't. There we go, that's better. Now these line up. Psychic damage of listening to Distrace and seeing Curls add another song as you listen. Oh no! Update failed. Oh dear, is your internet struggling? I'm probably gonna have to exit out of this call. Discord will probably boot me anyway. Yeah, your Discord is offline. Ooh, rip. Banned you. No! Banned from Discord. In the end, I find myself alone. Girls is trying to escape thesis hell with music. With boss music, no less. Which is, you know, understandable. Have a good day. If you ever need where to go, you know, and I promise I will never let you feel alone. The small job that I did the other day, which I'm happy I did, is a lot of the notices that I had on my notice board in the computer room in the flat. I just put them in a folder, so that they were all together for the sake of moving, and I've only just put them all back up on the board. So now my board has got stuff on it again, which makes me feel better. I do have a little label that says current project, and underneath that is currently blank. So what I should do is just make a little note to be like, current project is Albase. Yeah. If I had a printer, I would print out the concept page and stick it up there, because since I'm quite visual with that thing, it's like having it up there is gonna remind me about it and probably keep me thinking about it. But I do not own a printer anymore because ours broke right before we moved, which is the worst time for it to break, because that was the only time in like the last 5 years that we needed the printer, because we needed it to print paperwork for the purposes of the move. It's like before then it was like, yeah, we've got a printer, but it's never really like needed. It was convenient to have so that we could print some stuff out for like D&D and stuff, but it wasn't needed for paperwork or legal reasons. And then suddenly it was needed and it broke, and it was like, and we've never got a replacement, because it's like, now that we've finished moving, how often are we going to need a printer? My Wi-Fi died. There you go then. I thought it might be your internet. So I was like, you're just straight up not online anymore. F. Better internet, please. I saw a Virgin Media van down the road today when I came back from being out with my parents, and it looks like they were laying some new cables. And I was like, that's interesting, considering that they were already offering gigabit internet to us when we were looking for new internet. But it's like, hey, I'm happy to see them putting new cables down. Infrastructure! Infrastructure, people! Upgrades, people! Upgrades! You don't need a printer until you do. Exactly. Like, it was fine. We could use my parents' printer. It just meant that every single time we had an email from the solicitor being like, can you print out this document, please, and sign it and send it to us, it was like, okay, another hour round trip of driving 20 minutes to parents, printing out document, having a cup of tea, saying thank you, being social, driving back. Here's what it is. If we start getting back into IRL D&D again, maybe we will want a printer, because we will need to print stuff out, which was what we used the printer for mostly before. And then COVID hit, and we never really picked it back up after that. Plus, printers are definitely one of those things that are unnecessarily expensive. I hope you enjoyed me for the time that I was there. I did! We unsure when you're gonna be back. Is this an indefinite thing now? I'm by myself! I'm alone! I've been left! Unloved. Stay away from HP when it comes to printers. Ugh, god, yeah. I've got a biscuit! I've got a biscuit to eat with my cup of tea. Spook bought me a cup of tea while we were talking with Den about Blue Sky, by the way. I feel like that probably got missed. Because I was very cheeky and I knew he was still awake and I literally messaged him on Discord going, cup of tea, please. I mean, not 100% accurate. What I actually said was finger pointing emotes. Tea? Question mark. Mm. Mm. Did stream actually die? No, not on my end. It did not die on my end. Jammy Dodger. Ew, Jammy Dodger. We enjoy Jammy Dodger hours. Ow. Mm. 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 An Abra? Oh shoot! The stream did drop. What the fuck? That's weird. It's not displaying on my end that it did. This isn't on my software. What is Twitch saying? Oh, I don't think Twitch is happy. Oh. Oh, I don't think Twitch is happy. That's not good. That's not good. I'm just trying to eat a biscuit! Mm-hmm. Mm. Tasty. Tasty jam. Mm-hmm. Hmm. Can I have a biscuit break in peace, Twitch? Hmm. Oh yeah, session is only 3 minutes. It did fully drop. Hmm. Hmm. I am getting jam everywhere. Mm-hmm. Mm. Delicious. Mm. More. I need to go wipe some of the jam off my fingers now. But that was delicious. I haven't had a proper Jammy Dodger in like years. Because we buy off-brand stuff because it's cheaper. Mm. Yes, I'm licking some of the jam off the wrapper, don't at me. Oh, delicious. Okay. Right, I'll be right back, chat. I'm not going to bother with the AFK screen. Nom, 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 nom. Nom, 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 nom. Ah. Yeah, there it is. That's what that emote's for. Right, have we had any more drops? 6-minute session. Okay. Hit rate's gone back up. Okay, that's good. We had a wobble. We had a wobble. And I've had a speen. Okay. Cool. When I went out today. I went to a garden centre with my mum and dad today. It was lovely. When we went there, they had a very small plushie stand, and it had the dark blue and gold TY dragon, the one that you've got. It did make me think of you. And not gonna lie, I kind of wanted it, but I'm not allowed to buy plushies right now. Right, I need to add the bevel back in here. You can kind of see how they're like, these toes are kind of inching in. I really should consolidate my plushies. You should do what I did. Maybe you should get a shelf to sit them all on. And then send me a picture. Let me tell you guys, the serotonin that I've had over the last week of being like, I want to cuddle this plushie, and being able to turn around, pull it off the shelf and cuddle it has been so nice. It has made me so happy. I've currently got two little dragons set on my desk that I decided I wanted to cuddle. And they'll probably go back in a day or two when the desire runs out. Because, like, you know, I have a lot of plushies. I am aware that it is a problem. You know, you guys saw the shelf. It is full to the brim. There are still plushies that cannot go on the shelves. And, you know, I haven't even got them all in one place because there's just too many. There's physically too many. And it has always been that way. I have always been this way. I've always had a mountain of plushies ever since I was a little kid. I've just always had it. And, you know, living at my parents', you know, the mountain never went down. It would only go back up. It would only go up. It would never go down. So it would reach the point where it would be like, oh, you've got to, you know, store some in boxes, you know, and like some have to go into the bed, and then when into the bed got too full, it was like they have to go in the loft, and then it was like, no, I can't cuddle them. It's like, no, they have to go in the loft. There's physically no space. And, you know, obviously, like moving out to uni, that was a given. You know, no way in hell. You can take like, I think I took like 4 or something plushies with me. Or I think I took 3 and then I had 4 when Spook bought me Foxy. So when we moved to the flat, that was quite groundbreaking for me, of Spook letting me like keep my plushies under the bed and letting me keep them on you know, on the drawers and on the surface in the bedroom and in the living room. Like, that was quite groundbreaking for me, of being allowed to have them around and about, and I was so happy. And like having this shelf full of them, it's just another level of just like, I'm just so happy to be able to have that. And as I said before, like with the notice board, of like, I can be quite a visual person, which is ironic considering how little I will notice things when they are staring me in the face. But being able to turn and see them does make me very happy. And I know people keep asking me, do I want to have the door off? But I'm still like, no, I'm fine to have the door shut because I like the feeling of them being like contained in a thing. It feels like they're safe, you know? I want to represent Nemo, but I can't figure out how to keep it upside down. Oh my god, that's so funny. You have to, like, sandwich him between two other plushies that support him. We spent all night doing bird feet. Oh yeah, cool. Right before I started stream, I saw that Austin John had posted a video which said, like, 26 good shinies to, like, farm in the Teal Mask. And in the thumbnail, one of them is Sentret, and I'm like, no! I want a shiny Sentret. I love Furret. You thought I was done with Archer? 71-inch furred plush. 71-inch furred plush. $71-inch furred plush. 5'11", the official length listed in the Pokedex. We large boyo. This is on the American website, by the way. This isn't available in England, which is a good thing. This is a bad idea. Let's not do that. Especially because the internet is taking a shit, maybe? It's not happy. This is where Curls is going to sleep. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, there isn't actually a folding bed, it's just that the Mount Plushmore is what she has to sleep on. This bad weather here, so maybe. This is the thing, like, I feel like I'm evidently very just privileged. I can't say I have memories of there being storms so bad that my internet has ever been knocked out. Like, I know people do get that. I can't say I have recollections of that happening to me in any of the places I've lived. Oh my god, did I never upload? Oh my god, oh no, there it is. I was about to be like, did I never upload the tea emoji to the server? After V is like talking about tea? There we go. I didn't upload it as a sticker, so I should maybe do that. There's a job for another day, though. Like, I'm probably going to be proved wrong now that I've said it, because it was windy today. And me and my parents even commented of like, ooh, storm coming. But like, I can't say I ever have any recollections of like a storm being so bad that the internet's been knocked out. I had an original iMac that got struck by lightning. Fucking hell. maybe I repressed it. To be fair. Although I do remember that one time that my internet blew up, but that wasn't because of a storm, that was because of like a fuse went. That she just went BANG! And my entire computer went off because obviously the electric tripped. Scared the shit out of me. Oh, I literally chose the worst camera angle because I can't fucking see. Good job, self. Hello, extroverts? Where did you come from? Oh, yeah. Oh, there you go. They're not extroverts. They're not extroverts, okay? They're introverts. Leave them alone. That was a terrible joke. That was such a 3D modeler joke. Ugh. Lightning struck the pole outside my house, travelled down the phone line, and melted the motherboard. Jesus Christ.
You must be amethyst. You must be garnet. And pink diamonds. Pearl.
I heard you say hello, extroverts, and I was like, I didn't see any new people in shirts. Yeah, I said hello, extroverts, as in extra vertices. Vertex, which is what these dots are. It was a 3D joke. Yay, nerd jokes.
Happily ever after. Once and for all. Whoa. This has got to be a misunderstanding. In case you haven't heard, I've established peace across the galaxy. Yeah, I've heard. I've had your little message to the universe on loop. I just love that part. Where Pink Diamond spends the rest of her days on this
nowhere planet with a bunch of nobodies.
That's right, I heard the story over and over again.
Gee, it's swell to finally meet her other friends.
That's right, I heard the story.
Don't really like how it ends. Gee, it's swell to finally meet her other friends.
What did she say about me? What did she say? What did you do without me? What did you do? Did you play games without me? What did you play?
Did you think all this time that I wouldn't find out about you? Oh, that's right, I heard the story over and over again. Gee, it's swell to finally meet her other friends.
I came from the garden alone. She told me that I was her own. She walked with me, talked with me, made me feel I was at home. But thousands of years they go by, just happy to stay and play nice. Allegiance to her I had sworn, but this time it had turned to a rose full of thorns. Who am I? Who am I? What are you even saying? I'm the loser of the game you didn't know you were playing.
Let's play another game. This time I get to win. Oh, I've got to fucking download the VOD again and stitch them together. That's so annoying, and I don't technically have to do it, but I like doing it so that it's neat and organized. Ah. Did they ever find out if Steven is an actual person or another form of pink diamond? I mean, I think the answer was both, but I think the part of the theming of the story was that he was Steven. I think that was the sort of end result, is that he is Steven. Frankly, I would honestly just say watch the end and find out, because it was good, and that was literally kind of what it was about. Man, Steven Universe was good, man. But yeah, no, he was Steven. Is he gem or human? My brother in Christ, he is traumatized. Literally the plot of the like not season 2, but the short thing they did that was like Steven as an adult, like post literally, like, because there was Steven Universe, and then there was a movie which is what that song is from, and then there was like a post both of those like short season that they did. And literally that was what it was about. It was about the fact about how, like, everything is at peace now, but Steven is, like, fucking traumatized from all of the crap that he went through. And how he has to kind of, like, you know, he has to learn how to be a person again. Because he spent his whole life being a gem superhero. Don't look too hard at Kika. Oh my god, now I definitely want to rewatch Steven Universe. Oh my god. Steven and Kika? I can't. Star imagery as well? I can't even. My recollection is that Pink Diamond was, though, maybe unintentionally a real bee. Oh, 100%, yes. It was very much unintentionally, but yes, they were. Craig Hunter's not Auntie and Kika! It doesn't even have to be that, though, because, again, it's just Kika's family, you know? The freaking bonkers high-level wild magic sorcerer fighter and brass dragon. So it is just Kirok, Tian, Kayak, and Kika! Bruh, that's just her family. I'm gonna grab this edge and move it down here. Nope, don't want That vertex is selected. Okay, I mean we opened the stream with this song because basically I was basically testing whether I could play it, so I'm gonna see afterwards whether I get flagged for it. Fuck it, I'm gonna play it again. I don't care. Because it's a cover, it should be fine. It's a Steven Universe song. Love me, I love me. Want you to know you couldn't know me if you change your mind. I will say I'm not just blindly playing songs. I did look at their profile and they claimed that this music would be okay to play. Okay, so I've got the 3 on middle toe, but I need 3 on the external toes. And the way that I did that before was literally have them loop through here on the underside, and then loop over the top. Oop, that song is looping. Hang on. No, wait. There we go. Now all the songs are going to play again because we've restarted the playlist. UK-wide outage for Now and Now TV. Oh boy, that's our old provider. Dodged a heckin' bullet there. Yeah, that was our old provider, and when we moved, they were like, oh yeah, we can only do, 10 meg internet in your area, and we were like, haha, no, I stream for a living. Absolutely not. Their servers basically exploded. Yeah, that's an outage. That's a big outage. Oh dear. Well, hey, if the stream dies, you'll know that the outage spread to Virgin Media. Gothita, what's a psychic Pokemon spawning? Oh, I could technically have that go to there. I have you go to you. That's pretty neat. That turns that into a quad, and that turns that into a quad. This shape here is still an n-gon, which I'm less fond of, but we can cope. I think I want the loop that I did here to be lower, so that this loop can go over there instead. So what I'm going to do is select these, that one, select these, that one, and dissolve the edges. Plant my knife. And have you come over the top of here instead. Loop back down to that. Have you go up there so that you're a quad. Have you go up to there so that you're quads. I linked this up to the wrong line. You, to you, to you, to you, to you, to you, to me, to you, to me, to me, to you. Yep. You to you, you to you. And then you can come across here. Bloop, down to you. Up to there. Up to there. There we go, we're all quadded up. All quadded up. One just to round. I was blind for a minute then, and I was like, why can I not see the tool that I'm trying to use? Concentration hours. is. Can I get like an anatomical look at this? Okay, I think it is. Yeah, it is three joints, but like one is very close to the base of the foot. So like this is joint 1, and then I think we've got a joint 2. It's hard to actually see. I'm trying to find references. Oh god. Unfeathered owl isn't real. Unfeathered owl can't hurt you. I'm on my way out. I guess some good is coming out of the Unity Storm. Oh god, do I want to get into this on stream? I feel like I don't. Logic, other people do Terraria, aren't they? While we do not personally, I was about to say, I was like, Terraria doesn't use Unity, does it? We do not personally use Unity outside of a few elements on console and mobile platforms. We feel like we cannot sit idly in studios. We unequivocally condemn the recent TOS figure changes proposed by Unity. I feel the public statement is efficient, even if you see where to regain the positive statements. The destruction of trust is repaired. We cannot feel that people in some other up and coming lighting up candles. Oh. We're donating to each of the open source engines listed below. Oh, Godot! Spook is learning Godot. Additionally, we are supporting each of these projects with $1,000 a month each moving forward, as we can ask in return is that they remain good people and keep doing what they can to keep Bridget powerful and approachable. Aww, that is some nice news. I'll have to let Spook know. Inside, screaming satellite. This is very square still. Starlight Brigade. Navigated here a long time ago and neither of us knew it.
Would they say I've lost the plot? Would you say I blew it? Thought I found a way back home, but now I'm looking through it. After all this
Thank you.
time's been gone, I think I just outgrew it.
Are we supposed to waste away?
Empty out my bedroom, throw all that stuff away. All I'm taking with me now is a blank slate. 'Cause these days are
Thank you, Cut. I went to sip an empty mug of tea then. Water.
Maybe I left here a long time ago, and maybe we both knew it. Maybe this could have been heaven, the weeds just grew right through it. So what is left of paradise out beyond its edges? Empty lights of sunset skies over empty hedges.
Are we supposed to waste away?
Empty out my bedroom,
Throw all that stuff away. All I'm taking with me now is a blank slate. 'Cause these days are too short to live a whole life through. In this landlocked heart with you.
empty out my bedroom, throw all that stuff away. All I'm taking with me now is a blank slate. 'Cause these days are too short to live a whole life through. In
This landlocked heart with you. Gets a little chunkier. You can see which toe's been shaped and which one hasn't. Oh boy, 10 past 11. That is unfortunately where we go today. Wow, I spent all day, or all today, working on these feet, and I did like 2 toes. Oof. Slow progress, but still progress, and that is what is important. I will see you guys tomorrow afternoon for more of this, I guess. Tomorrow is our double stream day. I'm gonna have to just check. I think we actually don't have D&D still. Because Curls is still not available and someone else wasn't available. I think Merrin said they weren't available. So Cult of the Lamb again tomorrow? I guess, because that's just what we've been doing, and it is fun. So, we can see you for that. Yeah. Take care, everybody. Thank you very much. I hope everybody has a good evening, whatever you get up to. I'm probably gonna go straight to bed, because Spook has already given me a cup of tea, bless it. So I don't need I don't necessarily need a pre-stream, a post-stream, sorry, cup of tea. And, yeah, gonna save this, go to bed, and wake up, have breakfast, and go back to this. Because that is how it goes. But hey, yeah, at least, as I said, it is still progress. I did a lot of fidgeting, yeah. We've got a lot of, extra, like, geometry added in here, which is good. And I know what I'm doing tomorrow. I'm basically recreating that. Which is what I was meant to do. Made that, and made that toe look like that, but I had to go through this whole process of reorganizing this, but now that that is done, I can neatly do that. Because unlike, I think I was meant to say this earlier and I, like, forgot midway through saying it, unlike the Cobble, who literally kind of has, literally has the, foot bone come down to the foot and then stops, I am going to put, toe bones into this, and my thought is to make, a fizz bones thing so that when the foot gets lifted, the toe curls up. Which is a very small detail, but I think it's a nice detail to add in, and I want to try it. So I'm going to try it with these feet. Because birds. Right. I went on a little bit because I was explaining. Okay, I'm gonna go. Thank you so much, everybody. I will see you tomorrow. Have a good night. Bye!